Welcome back to the 2-Minute One. Today I'm taking a look at the AFC South and going over who I think will win the division in 2021. But before getting that topic, question for those of you viewing: what's your rankings? What's your standings for this division at the end of the year? Who's first, second, third, and fourth? Comment down below and you'll hear my answers throughout. Getting straight into it, I feel like this one's pretty clear cut. It's a two-man race for the division, Titans and Colts. Two-man race for the bottom, Jaguars and Texans. And for the two-man race at the top, if Carson Wentz is out, Titans are going to win it for the two-man race at the bottom. If Deshaun Watson's out, the Jaguars are going to get third. Texans win that race of getting fourth. I think that's pretty clear cut. Obviously, I could end the video right now, but just being theoretical, let's assume Carson Wentz is healthy. Let's assume he has minor surgery and he misses the first just 4 weeks. That gives them a good 3 months of recovery if it's a minor surgery, yet still plays 75% of the season-ish. Being realistic, Titans, where do they overpower the Colts? Colts, where do they overpower the Titans? Titans, they have the better backfield as far as pure running back Derrick Henry. Colts, they have the more deep backfield. They have the deeper backfield, more depth. Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, Marlon Mack. But only one player touches the football at a time. So I would say I would take the Titans backfield over the Colts personally, just because Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL. But I get the argument to the Colts. There's a lot of depth there. If Derrick Henry goes down, watch out, they're not making the playoffs. Colts, Jonathan Taylor goes down, they could still have the chance. But still, if I was forced to pick, they do have the better run game just due to Derrick Henry. Offensive line, I would go towards the Colts. I like the Titans, not that they'll have a healthy O-line, but still the Colts have a top 2 O-line in the league. Receiving core, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, Josh Reynolds, Anthony Fursker, T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman Jr., Zach Pascal, Paris Campbell, Mo Alley Cox, Jack Doyle. Colts got a decent receiving room. They have some talent there. They have a pretty high ceiling there, especially if Michael Pittman takes this big step forward. But Julio Jones is a top 5 receiver. A.J. Brown's a top 10 receiver who's arguably top 7, top 6. But I'm going to just say top 10 to be safe. And then Josh Reynolds is a good wide receiver number 3. Anthony Fursker, nothing to brag about, but we know what we're talking about here. Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. I'm going with the receivers on the Titans side. Quarterback play. Again, assuming Carson Wentz is in. If the backup's in, we all know Ryan Tannehill is better. Assuming he is in, Ryan Tannehill is probably top 12-ish quarterback, and Carson Wentz is a bottom 8 quarterback as of today. He has a lot to prove to turn himself around, but I do think Carson Wentz has a ceiling that could reach Tannehill status, but he has a long way to climb to get to that path. Defense, I think the Colts is much better. I think they have a top 10 defense. DeForest Buckner, Kwity Paye, Tyquan Lewis, Darius Leonard, Kenyon Moore, Xavier Rhodes. Titans, not bad. Big Jeff, Bud Dupree, Janoris Jenkins, Caleb Farley, Kevin Byard, but I just don't believe in as much as the Colts. Looking at the Jaguars, their backfield's pretty solid. I was a little surprised with the Travis Etienne pick over James Robinson. But it is what it is at this point. Trevor Lawrence is great. Hopefully he's this next best thing where we're expecting him to be what Justin Herbert was last year. Basically coming in, just wrecking the league. Offensive line is probably better than most quarterbacks have. Not the greatest, but still, as I said, better than most rookies have. Receiving core, I like DJ Chark to see if he could hit that next level now that he's got a big arm to throw to him. I don't know about the Tim Tebow thing. That's a whole other video to talk about in itself. But DJ Chark, like I said, Laviska Shenault, Marvin Jones Jr., it's a pretty decent receiving room. You could argue it's better than the Colts, arguably. So, I'm not trying to act like the Jags are this dog crap team that are stuck with 3rd or 4th, and that's it. I do think they have the potential to get 2nd. If Urban Meyer is this next best thing, if Trevor Lawrence is this next best thing, and Carson Wentz is hurt, I think the Jaguars, I would bet money they finish 2nd. But again, being realistic, assuming Carson Wentz at least plays 70% of the season, I do think they will win 2nd place and fight for 1st. Jaguars, again, I like the defense. Josh Allen, Myles Jack, C.J. Herndon, Trey Henderson. I think there's a Herndon and a Henderson in the secondary. I keep getting confused. But either way, Herndon and Henderson, Shaquille Griffin. It's not Saxonville by any means, but they're trying to get there. And then the Texans, they're 4-12 with the top 5 quarterback. They don't have them. They're going to go 0-17. That's just, I don't want to ignore them completely, but I don't believe in them. Brandon Cooks is the only weapon they really have. They lost Will Fuller. They traded away Randall Cobb. They don't have Darren Fells, who's not even a weapon, but it's just a name I know. They got Laramie Tunsil. Hopefully he can do everything because you traded away your franchise for him. I hate the backfield. You don't need 3 decent running backs. David Johnson, Mark Ingram, Phillip Lindsay. Who's the starting guy there? Who's the best guy there? No one knows, and I don't like that situation. I don't believe in the defense. Texans are just the worst team in football. So again, getting back to, I guess, I don't want to count out the Jaguars and say they can't compete, like I said. But just assuming with all the new factors, I don't think they'll overpower Henry and Julio and A.J. Brown and Tannehill. But again, if Carson Wentz is out, let's put it this way. No Carson Wentz, I got the Titans winning, Jaguars, Colts, Texans. Carson Wentz is in. Let's say he plays 100% of the season. I think the Colts would win the division. I know it's surprising. Assuming he is healthy day one and is unaffected by his injury, if he is, void this. If he is healthy, I like the Colts to win the division. I like Frank Wright. Not that Mike Vrabel is bad. I just like the Colts a lot this year. I think they're very underrated. I think they're a dark horse Super Bowl team. I think it'll be a close division win, 11-6, 12-5, right around that range. It could just be determined in a head-to-head matchup. Colts have a tough schedule, in my opinion. They play the NFC West, so do the Titans. I think their 17th game, I want to say it's the Buccaneers, actually, which sucks for them. Who's the other? I think they might play the AFC East, if I'm not mistaken. It's a tough schedule. Again, the Titans are playing a lot of these games as well. Either way, I just feel like they have a very difficult schedule this year. But I believe in them. I believe in the O-line. I believe in Jonathan Taylor. I believe in the defense. I believe in the receiving corps to step up. Again, I like the Titans, but just to the defensive factor, I have to give the Colts the edge. They are that much better than the Titans on defense. Of course, if Carson Wentz still plays 100% and he plays like he did last year, they're not winning. But if he could become MVP form like he was with Frank Wright, I think he could turn things around. But again, assuming he's healthy, I got Colts, Titans by like a head-to-head matchup or one less win. Jaguars, Texans, assuming he's out. Titans, Jags, Colts, Texans. I know a lot of Titans fans are going to be pissed that I said the Colts will win if Carson Wentz is in. But that's just what I believe. I think it's going to be nitpick, and I do think if he's affected by this injury at all, or if he's is even what he was last year, I don't think they'll win. But that's what I'm saying. If the Colts win, it's due to Carson Wentz returning to his MVP form. I know that's a low chance, but I believe in it. I'm taking the underdog in that bet of whatever you want to call it, and I do think they would pull it out. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans win the division. They're one of the top powerhouses in the AFC. Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Browns, Colts, Titans. They're all kind of in the same realm of Tier 1 Super Bowl bubble status. We'll just have to see how it ends up. I do want to hear from you guys. Again, Titans fans, let me hear your opinions because I know that's who's going to be crying in here. Jaguars fans, I like your future. But as of right now, I think it's a little early to say you're going to win the division. Texans, I'm sorry. Hopefully someone will throw you a bone at some point in time for lost hope or out of pity, whatever you want it to be. Hopefully you just get something. Either way, let's just see how it turns out. You guys tell me your comments. Who's first, second, third, and fourth? Those are my scenarios. Of course, a lot of it's going to be depending on Wentz, as I said. But I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for the Colts. Not a Colts fan, but I'm rooting for Carson Wentz. Not a Colts fan, but I'm a Carson Wentz fan, and I want to see him turn his career around. We'll just have to see if it happens. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.